never believe who I have on this week's episode of Lexy, the Place for Fashion podcast. She's a content creator focused on fashion, wellness, and everything in between. Hey, Morgan, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to have you on today. So for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 19. I live in San Diego, Southern California. I'm a fashionista in it, like through and through. I fucking love fashion. I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. If anyone was curious, Virgo Sun, Taurus Moon, Aquarius rising for my astrology ladies out there. And I just have a lot of interests, but I'm very vintage, I guess you could say, very 70s.
I love it. I'm obsessed with your content. I think I started following you when, oh God, I don't even remember, but you were doing like this one dance, like very,
I know what you're talking about.
very often. And I just loved your energy. And I was like, this girl just like.
It was the Deja Vu September remix, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I accidentally started a TikTok dance and it like took off.
I loved it. I was like, this girl has so much energy and I just love it. And so I immediately started following you. And then I saw that you were like into vintage stuff and I just loved like your whole 70s vibe to you. So that's so cool. So how did you first really get into like fashion and becoming a fashionista?
Okay, like growing up, I was always a very fashionable kid. My parents let me pick out my outfits all the time. Very iconic. Like I was rocking tutus, suspenders, like knee-high socks, like middle school. Well, that was more elementary school because then when I got into like middle school, I lost all of my fashion sense and became very like tomboy-esque. I just didn't know how to dress myself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like fed into this like notion that I was very tomboyish, and I remember feeling like scared to dress like feminine, girly. People would make fun of me for wearing dresses, so I was like scared to dress girly.
No.
And then not until like high school did I really start to find my style again. Like I knew I was always like fashionable because I did it as a kid, but when I was in middle school and like early high school, I felt like I would get made fun of for dressing how I felt, so I stopped. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
It's okay. I have dogs. I have a dog too, and I don't know why, but she's actually sleeping right now. Usually she'll be like,
oh, that's good. My dogs are crazy. Sorry, I'll wait for them to stop barking.
All good.
Okay. But yeah, so when I got into around like sophomore year of high school, I really started to find my vintage style and like my personal style again. But that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah. And so how did you get specifically into like vintage? Are you a big thrifter, or was it for like sustainable purposes or money purposes, or like what got you into like vintage fashion?
It was definitely a combination of things. I'd say it's all started, like I said, I was very bland like the first year of high school, and there's nothing wrong with being basic because basic is basic for a reason, you know. But I was dressing like everyone else, and I started to explore more 70s rock music. I started to fall in love with like Fleetwood Mac and Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and the world of like classic rock really consumed my lifestyle. And just throughout the next like 2 to 3 years, my style slowly evolved into what I would consider sort of nowadays, but it really started with music. And then the thrifting thing started with not having money. And so it was like this just combination of wearing secondhand clothes because I couldn't afford to buy the new stuff because it was so expensive. And then also just really trying to find my style. And when I was thrifting, it wasn't as popular yet. So it wasn't super hard to find good stuff.
Right.
You know, because now like everyone's thrifting, so it can be hard to find good pieces. But I started when it was not as popular. And so it was really fun for me being able to go find like one of a kind pieces, and no one could dress like that.
Yeah, no, I love thrifting. I feel like I completely like had a very similar situation where I remember in like elementary school for our 5th grade graduation, which I don't know why that's a thing. We had too. Yeah. We had like I was all about like wearing super neon things, and I remember that I got this like fringe like infinity scarf, and I decided to wear it. It was so bad. It was so bad. We don't need to talk about it, but I decided to wear it as like a shirt, and I took like a belt and I made I made the infinity scarf into a shirt. And then I got to like middle school, and it was, again, nothing wrong with like Lululemon and stuff like that, but that's all I wore. And nothing wrong with
Leggings.
that. I
I
just
was a
felt,
leggings girl.
I'm like, I don't think it's like me as like a person anymore. And I didn't realize that at the time, but I think that I was just doing like what was on trend and like what would make me not stick out, basically, because I was also like you said, like worried about like being made fun of, and I was made fun of. I remember one time I literally wore flared jeans, oh god, imagine, to school, and they were like barely flared, like
How
they
bold
were,
of you.
oh god, like imagine, how could I, how, why
Really?
did I
How
do
could you?
that? How dare I? But I remember people kept coming up to me and they were like, why did you wear that to school? And I was like, what the heck? I was like,
Yeah.
you're bold for literally saying that, and like not only that, but saying it to my face. And I was like, okay, like
Ashley's
I
hand.
don't know, bro, maybe because I don't want to wear Lululemon today, like leave
Ah,
me alone. And
that was
so
really the go-to.
yeah, literally. And so I feel like I completely agree. And then I got like out of like high school, and it was kind of like the end of high school and beginning of college and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Like, who gives a shit what other people think? And I
Things
started,
change when you graduate high school.
yeah,
Things change.
things
Literally anyone
change.
who's like in high school, like when they ask me for advice, I'm like, baby, like things change. Just
I-
wait.
and it's like so funny because like people are always like, oh my God, like you find who you are in college, and like, or like you meet the right people and like all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, everyone says that, but I'm like, there's a reason why everyone says that. I'm like, it's because it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just like, it's so funny how I even like last year, like my first year of college, like I look back and I'm like, who was that? That's not me.
Yeah. No, me every single year looking at my TikToks, I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, where did you come from?
That trend right now that's going on where it's like
The
you in like
February trend.
March or February,
Yeah,
and
it's like
it's like
show your
the
past or
4 years.
self.
Yeah, the past 4 years. And I'm like, oh God, I don't
I'm
even
like,
want
I
to
don't even
look.
want to look at it. The fact that 2019 was 4 years ago.
Oh God.
That's
Oh
insane. That's
God.
like actually insane to think about.
Oh God. What the
Like
heck?
I know I saw someone comment like 2019 was 4 years ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's so crazy. I can't
Oh
fathom
my
that.
God. Ew, I'm having like a midlife crisis and I'm 18 years old. Oh God. What the heck?
Not
Oh
just a life
God.
crisis. I go through those like once a week.
I know, like last week I was like, you know what? I'm really bored of looking at myself. Let's just dye my hair like brown. And then 2 days later I dyed it red, and I was like, okay, this is
You're
good.
satisfied for now.
For now. I'll
Are
probably
you
change
like,
it.
are
in,
you
like,
an
a month.
avid hair dyer? Like, do you change your hair color a lot?
I have had blonde hair pretty much my entire life. Like I maybe in like middle school, you know, when like what was it, like
Kool-Aid? Are you talking about
Kool-Aid,
Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid dye. Oh God. I did like the dip, the tips
The
of my
dip
hair.
dye. I know what you're talking about.
Awful, awful. But other
Honestly,
than
I never
that,
did
I've
that.
had blonde hair, like always. So this was the first time with like really big change. But
Did
I
you
don't
have an
know.
identity crisis or did you like it? Because when I dyed my hair, I was like, my world was shook.
I feel like I don't, it's like it's the kind of dye that after like a few washes, they're not a few washes, or like maybe
It's
like a month.
semi-permanent.
Yeah, it's like semi-permanent. So I wasn't too worried about it. But I always do it at like 1 in the morning, and I'm like, oh God, I hate it. And then the next day I'll like put some makeup on. I'm like, that's
You
like,
need to like the makeup with it. I get that.
yeah, you need the, I have to get the full look before I'm like,
Yeah.
do I look good, or
I
do I?
dyed my hair for the first time this summer and I
Mhm.
went like ginger because like this isn't what I'm like redhead right now and it's not natural. I'm a natural like dirty blonde and I'd never dyed my hair. I always had really healthy hair. So I was like, why would I dye it if I could just keep it healthy, you know?
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm ready for a change. Like I was going on a vacation. I'm like, fuck it, let me dye my hair. And I showed the lady, like my hairdresser, a picture of this light, like strawberry blonde ginger hair, and my hair came out maroon,
Oh,
like dark red. And I was like, I didn't know how to tell her because it was like a family friend. And I was like I cried like all night. And then I woke up the next morning and I saw myself in the mirror. I like 6:30, like I forgot that I dyed my hair the night before. So I was like, fine. And then I saw myself in the mirror and was like, no, like, what am I gonna do? Like, this isn't me. And I texted her at like 6 a.m. Like, bitch, we need to fix this.
To fix this. Oh God. Oh my God. No, that's the funniest thing is like when you forget that you do something and then you wake up and you're like,
I have to live with this. Like, when you cut your hair, you're like, I have to live with this.
My decisions. So yikes. Well, back to like the questions. So is like being a vintage, you know, advocate, thrifter, shopper, all that jazz, has that like maybe brought you more onto like the sustainable sides of fashion? I'm a huge sustainable fashion advocate, so I always like talking about sustainability. Is that something that like you're interested in because of vintage fashion?
Totally. So along with thrifting, because I couldn't afford it, well, because I could afford thrifting, couldn't afford other clothes, I was also doing it because it was good for the environment. And it's hard for me to speak about things like this online because no matter like what I say, people can be very ruthless, and I don't always feel like I have a place to like confidently speak my mind without getting harassed. So I don't talk about it too much, but I am a sustainable, I guess you could say, like, advocate. I think that there is a stigma around being a sustainable clothing advocate, though, that you can't enjoy the unsustainable things in life. And that it's hard to label yourself as sustainable because like living is not sustainable in this day and age. I personally love sustainable fashion. For myself personally, almost everything I buy is secondhand or like a sustainable brand. But now that I have more of a following, I get PR, and with that, you know, comes like new pieces, but I don't buy new pieces with my own money. It's either thrifted or gifted is usually like what my closet is. And I just try to only say yes to the things that I need, and I try to say yes to things that I don't always need so I can share it with like the people in my life that maybe can't afford it but want it, because that's like a perk of getting PR. But at the end of the day, I do consider myself a more sustainable creator. I just don't like to talk about it too much because it's difficult to ethically consume and be in the fashion community online. It's so hard.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like there is, like you said, like a stigma. I feel like in general, like there's just so much judgment going around in the fashion industry, whether it's like you're shopping fast fashion or you're trying to shop sustainably. And I think what people need to realize is that, you know, like we're all human and we make mistakes and we can't always be perfect 100% of the time. And it's more about like not shaming people when they buy from a fast fashion site, but encouraging people when they buy from a sustainable one, or, you know, go thrifting or secondhand shopping instead.
Positive reinforcement.
Yes, exactly. Positive reinforcement. And I feel like that is lost a lot of the time, especially on like apps like TikTok, where I feel like people are so ruthless.
Literally.
So
is ethical consumption.
Yeah. And there's just so much more to like sustainable fashion than people like know about. So yeah, but I love to talk to people that are interested in stuff like that. And I mean, even rather like putting yourself out there as like more of like a, you know, like vintage advocate person, like that's still
just secondhand, like you don't
that's still being sustainable, even if you're marketing it just basically in a different way. So I love to see it. So let's talk about your social media journey. So like I said, I found you on TikTok. How like did you join originally to like, you know, kind of make it a platform that you were going to have like make a career out of it, or did you just join for fun and then randomly blow up and now you're here?
I feel like that question is always a lot to unpack because there's so many different things that went into my TikTok. When TikTok, okay, well, let's go way back. Like I was a Musical.ly user.
Oh yeah.
Like middle school, like I was out here making Musical.lys, like lip syncing and everything. So glad that you can't find those anymore.
I was gonna say you should repost them and just be like,
hell no. And so like, you know, I probably deleted it. Like I never used it in high school. And I don't know when TikTok came out. I think it was maybe like 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
I was a TikTok hater. I was like, fuck TikTok. This thing is stupid. Like, it's so cringy. Who would even use TikTok? Like, literally, why would they name an app TikTok? What the hell is this? Right? Like, I hated it. And then COVID happened. And like, so I was like, okay, like everyone's talking about it. Let me download it, see what's good. And the thing I didn't like about it at first was like you have to consume a lot before you can get your For You page to be like for you. And so like that's why I didn't like it at first, was because I didn't feel like the content was even interesting, but it's just because it wasn't catered to myself yet. So I was like just scrolling on it here and there out of boredom. And I didn't mention this earlier, but part of thrifting when I was younger was reselling clothes. That was like one of my first jobs. I did it when I was 15. I didn't have a license and I would resell clothes. And so I made a couple TikTok videos trying to show how I was doing style bundles. Because before I was on social media, people were paying me to style them. And so I would go thrift. They would like send me a chunk of money. I would go thrift them some outfits. And I started making TikToks out of it because I thought that I wanted to be like a reseller for the rest of my life. So glad I'm not. Honestly, it's a lot of work. But that's where I started making TikToks from. It was like that, the occasional like friends and family TikTok that was like stupid, like just posting for like my 50 followers. And one day a video blew up for me. I like hadn't touched TikTok in months because my parents had just gotten divorced. I was like going through a move. Like I was just going through big life changes. And I had just moved into the place that I'm in now, which is, I think has a lot to do with my growth because my room is very 70s, but I just put down my phone and I filmed a video of me dancing, which I like never done on TikTok, but I was like, hey, fuck it. Like, let me just like post something goofy. And it blew up. Like, I think it got like 500,000 views. And, for someone who got like 100 views on a video, that was crazy. And so I was like, this could be something. Cause growing up, I always thought people who did this were really cool. I just didn't feel like I was insecure. And so I honestly would make fun of people who are doing what I'm doing now as a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I was in middle school, I'd be like, dude, what the heck is an influencer? Like, it's funny how things change. But I kind of got over that insecurity of posting because I was like, well, people like it. So I took the opportunity of my video blowing up and posted every single day for the next like 6 months. I think like 6 months went by where I posted at least a video every single day because I took my one video blowing up as an opportunity. And the whole week of my like daily posting, my videos were blowing up, like getting hundreds of thousands of views every single day. And I don't know what happened. I literally felt like a chosen one, which is so weird. But I've talked to other TikTokers too, and the same thing happened where it's just like one day a video blows up and then it just keeps happening. And so I grew really fast. Well, not really fast because there's people that get like millions of followers in a couple days. Like that's not me. But within a few months, I had like 300,000 on TikTok. And I was like, oh my God, like brands want to pay me. I can do something with this. And that's kind of where that all started.
Yeah.
Very all over the place. But yeah, that's kind of how like my TikTok started.
That's so cool. Yeah, I I was literally the exact same way. I remember all my friends were like, I would sit outside of our dance class after school and all my friends were making TikToks and like learning the dances. And I remember it was like when Renegade was like huge. And
yeah, that's what happened for me.
Yes. And I remember I was like, what the fuck is this dance? And I remember that for the dance team at my school, we would do it's called Palms, and we would do what was called I think it was like bombs or something, and it was boy palms, and we would get some of the guys in our grade to like do a dance for one of the pep rallies. And I remember we taught them Renegade, and I was sitting there and I was like, I do not know what this dance is. Like, why is everyone doing it? And I was like, oh, I'm just not like the other girls. Like, I'm not going to download TikTok. And then literally like the exact same thing, like maybe like a month or a few weeks before COVID, I just started like going on it and like, scrolling through it. And I was like, oh, this is actually a fun app. And like, maybe I shouldn't be shitting on it. Yeah. And then I got addicted to it. And I was definitely guilty of that. But we literally had like the exact same. I feel like I know so many people too that are like Oh my God, I hated TikTok. And I was like, nope, same. I
Yeah, I
hated
was an
it.
avid TikTok hater. Like hated it.
Like literally like protesting again. No, just kidding.
Yeah, like it was disgusting. I was like, how could you ever use it? I would like cringe at my friends. They're like, why are you on there? It's funny
Yeah.
how
Oh
things
my God.
change.
It's
I feel
crazy.
like something that's crazy though, I feel like is seeing the growth emotionally with me being on social media because, like I said earlier, I used to make fun of people and like I'm not trying to say this and like I'm not calling myself out necessarily as like a bully, but more like internally I would judge people for like being on social
Mhm.
media because it always felt silly. It always felt like cringy, but that's because deep down I wish I could have been doing it. Like I feel like
Literally.
that's where all the insecurities come from, and I was like judging these people as like a 14, 15-year-old. And it'd
Mhm.
be funny, like it's funny to know that 4 years later I would be one of those people. And you really just have to overcome that like fear of people making fun of you because the second you stop
Yeah.
caring, the second you become successful.
Yeah. No, exactly. I feel like I think like Michaela Hederman, I don't know if you follow her, but
Yeah,
I
I know
think
who she is.
she said once on her story, like what you just said, that basically like when you're jealous of people, it's like there's a pretty high possibility that you're jealous because like they're doing something that you wish that you could do. They're doing something that you for some reason in your mind think that you can't do. And so then I started like thinking about that and I was like, that's so true. And I'm like, so when I'm like jealous of people or when I'm like in my head, because obviously I don't think I've ever like left a hate comment or like said
No,
some
never,
never,
never.
never. I would never.
I'm
But
not a hater.
yeah, no, but in my head, I did probably like exactly what you did, where I'm just like, why would you be on that app? Like whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, like if you step back and you're like, oh wait, it's because like I actually do want to like start, I don't know, posting on the app like an influencer, stuff like that. So
Having the realization that you're like annoyed at somebody, you're jealous of somebody because they're doing something you wish you could be doing.
mhm.
It's so opening because like ever since I realized that, I've been so much less judgmental, and it's also
Mhm.
just made me realize like how badly I want something and I'm like unwilling to go for it out of insecurity. I feel like there's a lot of growth that happens when you realize like you want something someone else has.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to think and like be like, okay, like well, why am I not doing that? Like, is that something that I could do? And then you go and go do it. And and then you stop being like a jealous human being because are also, you have the ability to go and do the same things that, like other people are doing. There's enough space in the world for all of us to grow and succeed. And I feel like that is something that gets lost a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. That's all.
That's it. Yeah. So um that's just so great that you were able to like grow like that. And so now that you kind of like, have this platform, I feel like the other thing with social media is sometimes like there's like a misconception, or like when you go and view someone's page, like you're just viewing like their photos and their videos, and it's hard to really like necessarily know a person. So what would, if someone just was scrolling through your page and found your TikTok or your Instagram, what would you want them to take away from your profile and from you?
I My goal on social media is to spread like kindness and
Mhm.
inspire people to be themselves. And I deal with this issue a lot internally of feeling like I don't have a substantial position online being a fashion creator.
Mhm.
Like I said, I don't talk about politics much online because I can't handle the heat of I just literally can't handle the heat. Like I'm an empathetic person. Like I
Mhm.
don't like being hated on. It hurts my feelings. And
Mhm.
because of that, I just decided that I would really stick to what I can confidently speak on, and that is
Mhm.
fashion, and that is like being happy, like having good vibes or whatever. And I've noticed that it can feel like I don't have a position to be speaking online. Like I think that my platform is useless in a sense because I'm not sharing those things. But what I wish people could know is that there is like a place for just going somewhere to be happy and going somewhere to be inspired by things. Because
Mhm.
if the internet was full of only the sad things going on in life, people wouldn't be on the internet. And
Mhm.
also it's like I think seeing a fashion creator's content can feel shallow sometimes, but I'm a very deep, like, intellectual person, and I think it's easy to miss that when you're just seeing pictures of me posing with my hands in the air.
Mhm.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a fashion creator, but deep down I'm very considerate and caring, and I'm very nice, and I think it's easy to lose that on social media.
No, definitely. I think that you know, social media obviously has like so many pros and cons, and you know, you're able to like meet people like how we met through social media. But there's also like you said, like if you're looking at like my profile or something and you just see me taking pictures in clothes and like I don't know,
Yeah,
like
that's
just
all
doing
it is.
random stuff, like you're not gonna get you know, like a full description of who I am as a person through that. So um I love though, because if you go when you go to your Instagram, your bio is like fashion, wellness, and everything in between. And so I love that, you know, like yes, we get some fashion, but we also get like, you know, some joy, something to brighten up. I feel like you're just such like you have such great energy to you. And
Oh,
so like
thank you.
whenever I see your profile, I'm like, oh my God, yes, like she's dancing, she's picking out
Oh my
clothes.
God, thanks.
Of course. So,
One more thing that I thought of, sorry, is that okay if I
yeah,
go?
oh my God,
There's like
go.
one more thing that I was thinking about with social media, and this kind of I think about this because I used to think this way as a young teenager, but
Mhm.
when I used to see other people's social media pages, and I'm assuming people think this way when they see mine, is that like I don't work for anything. I feel like that's a really common like
Mhm.
misconception, is that people on social media don't work for what they have, but I really do work like 50 hours a week sometimes, and I
Mhm.
wish that people could see that like there's so much more than just getting free stuff and taking cute pictures.
Mhm.
And I just it's the same thing, like, I think that it's just I wish people could see, and, like, I wish people knew that I was, like, a hard worker and that I really have, like, drive, and I think it's easy to get lost.
No, definitely. And I always say this, but you know, like the content creator industry, you know, it's decently new and it's primarily a woman-run industry and it's very like laughed upon. And what's interesting is that it's literally just marketing, just in a new way. And if
Literally is marketing.
it's literally just marketing, which has been around forever. And and you know, brands that aren't like using social media nowadays and brands that aren't using content creators to their full advantage are
Getting
not
forgotten about.
not succeeding. Yeah, they're literally getting left in the dust. And so it's interesting how like we'll get made fun of because we just take pictures with clothes, which isn't true. I literally am always working
Yeah, you have a
24/7.
podcast. I don't think people
Yeah.
realize how much work goes into it, like, having to listen to yourself over and over again for hours.
Hmm.
That's literally why I can't get them out weekly anymore, is because it's hard to feel like you have something substantial to say. I don't wanna just
Hmm.
be, like, putting out stuff, and you probably feel that way too, like, creating is sometimes when you're just
Hmm.
the only one speaking on camera, you're like, "Is what I'm about to post and say actually gonna change someone's life, or am I just doing this to get likes?" You
Yeah.
know?
No, yeah. It's like and like you know like there's like creative blocks just like how like when a writer an author is trying to write a book and they can't they're having like a block in their writing or an artist like there's it's the same thing with you know content creators and whether or not but also we're our own negotiators our own photographers our own models our own everything lawyers whatever and so
Literally.
there's like so much like usually like I mean for like Instagram accounts for like businesses and stuff like big businesses they have like multiple people on a team
You have someone
running.
who answers the DM, someone who does the reels, the pictures.
Like
I
they have.
love I love business so much. So like the business side of social media is so interesting to me. I
Mhm.
wanted to say, because you were talking about it, what's really interesting about social media and influencers in general is the whole pyramid of like working is flipped upside down. And I think
Mhm.
people don't realize that is instead of having like a boss that is supported by the workers, you are like the boss and the worker. And if you hire a manager or you hire like an editor, you're keeping all those people working. And when you quit, everyone else quits.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought about that? Because I heard that and I thought it was so crazy. And it's just like you really are like in charge of everything and it's stressful.
It's like you're everything. Like
You're everything, queen.
yes. Like you are literally everything. And so it's just like it's great. Okay.
Damn, okay.
Living in downtown LA, you know the vibes. Right before this podcast, literally probably like 15 minutes beforehand, I was walking back from the chiropractor and I got chased by some lady and she starts trying to punch me.
No.
And she's literally swinging at me and my fight or flight kicks in. And I'm like, I don't know how, but my freaking spidey senses like dodged that. And then it started sprinting. And I was like, I have a podcast in 10 minutes. I can't deal with this right now.
She literally tried to like beat your ass.
She did. And it was so unprovoked. Like,
okay, that's what I was just gonna ask. Like,
I was like, I had sunglasses on. Like, I wasn't even like, I didn't even realize that like she was running at me until she was like taking her fist out and trying to swing at me. And I like had my headphones on. Like I was literally like not paying attention to the world. Like I was just like walking. And I didn't even say anything, not in like a rude way, but it's like there were a billion people on the street. Like I wasn't like gonna stop and say hi to one random person. And then all of a sudden I just turn around and she starts, you know, the scene from Get Out where the guy is like sprinting like so fast at the main character. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Okay, I'm not a movie watcher, really.
Okay.
So no,
okay.
but I'm like painting the picture in my head.
Yeah. So there's this scene that's like after Get Out came out, it was, I feel like it was like a TikTok trend or so, not a trend, but like, I don't know, people were talking about that one scene because he's just like full speed ahead sprinting at the main character. And I turned around and that's what this woman's doing, like just full speed ahead. And I literally was just like, oh, she's probably trying to make the light or something, like, or, I don't know.
She starts winding up her arm.
She's like, never mind. And I was like, oh my God.
Dude, that's crazy.
Anyways, downtown LA. So yeah, back to what we were talking about. I don't even remember now, but yeah, in general, it's just like social media is just so much work and it's so crazy that it is like such a made fun of thing, and not even made fun of, but also that like brands are like working, or it's such a big thing for brands to be working with content creators nowadays, and then are like barely paying content creators what they should be getting paid. So
yeah, well, my tip for that is, if this is like what I literally tell everyone, if you're ever like trying to make money on social media, the one tip that I would give is to highball the fuck out of these people. Like if you want, you know what I mean, if you want $100, tell them you want 1,000. Like I'm just telling you, so many brands would be willing to pay you that are good.
yeah, no, definitely. It's, I mean, that's a great tip. And then just be like, oh well, like I guess I could go a little lower than like,
that's how you make the money you want, is because if you start with what you want, you're never gonna get it. It's literally
oh God,
negotiate.
There was this video I was just editing for my other job, and it was about negotiating and stuff, and she was like, the first person that says a price like never wins. So either don't be the first one to say a price, or say something that's like so out of like what you're looking for, and then there's even a possibility of you getting that, but if not, then you just like go down from that huge number. So
you'd be surprised. Like one time someone did meet me at that highball price and I was like, what? I was like, what? I was like, oh my God,
like, thank you.
Don't like that, so maybe I should make it even higher.
next time make it like $1 million just for funsies.
For real. Yeah, it's gonna be $1 million for that one TikTok.
Yeah, sorry.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if people like Charlie D'Amelio actually can charge that much.
I know, that's crazy. Good for them. Girl boss.
Fun and games for us.
So what other tips, like if I feel like a lot of like my listeners are people who are interested in content creation, what other tips would you give them for, I don't know, maybe wanting to like start creating content and just putting themselves out there?
Honestly, it can be difficult to be a content creator and work another job, because most successful content creators are working that as a full-time job. And that's something that I had to do, was like work a normal job and then work extra with social media, because you have to make it successful before you can quit usually. What worked for me was posting every single day. And I know that sounds like a lot, but like honestly, trying to post like 2 to 3 times a day really does help, because then you're current. Another thing that really helped for me was communicating with my audience. I feel like it's so common nowadays to see creators who have a platform because of their audience and don't even bat an eye at the comments. And honestly, like, I understand being too busy to respond to everything, but it doesn't hurt to even respond to a few on every video. And I've noticed now that like I have grown a little bit to the point where I can't respond to every single comment, but I do recommend talking to your audience. When I
Mhm.
honestly, up until about 300K, I think I would respond to like almost every single comment or at least like it. And it's so crazy because people are like, oh my God, she likes my comment. And I'm like, it doesn't seem crazy to me, but other creators don't do it. And it really does make you
Right.
stand out because it's like, I do genuinely care about the people that follow me. They're my audience. They're the reason I'm able to do what I do. And it's like the
Mhm.
least I could do is tell them thank you when they tell me I'm like pretty or they like my video, you know?
Yeah.
It means a
No,
lot.
definitely. I feel like, yeah, that's a problem that I have a lot is like I'll like I'm so busy and then I like
It's
forget to
easy
get
to
back
miss
to
it. Like
someone.
I don't blame anyone for not doing it because it's hard, but I think that
No,
if you
yeah.
have time, you totally should try it.
No, yeah. And I feel like too is um like you mentioned like posting every day and how yeah, that maybe that can be like intimidating or like even seem like a lot. But like I feel like what people like on TikTok especially, but on also all social platforms is like you just being yourself and like just posting random shit. So it doesn't have to be like this whole curated like
Uh,
TikTok. It can literally be, I don't know, you dancing in your
those are
cool
the videos that do
70s
best for
bedroom.
me. And it comes
Mm-hmm.
from the heart. I'm not out here like choreographing dances. Like I'm out here putting my phone down and just moving. And like those are the ones that blow up. Or
Yeah.
I could spend 2 hours on an outfit video and it reaches like 5% of my audience, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
No, literally, I'll spend like an hour like editing for these like really cool like edit videos or whatever, and then it's like I'll take 2 seconds to make a TikTok of me getting ready for work, and
They eat it
those
up.
are the ones
They
they're
eat
like,
it
oh
up.
my god. I'm like, okay guys, I didn't realize that this is what you guys wanted. So I feel like yeah, like it, yes, again, like it seems intimidating or like a lot, but just like post random shit, like just be yourself on social. And while that also could be intimidating, that's honestly like what people like to see. They like to see you being real and being like a human being, and people eat that shit up. So
And I feel like if you find something that works well for you, like who says you can't do it 10 more times?
mhm.
That's something that like some people would be like, oh, I'm tired of it. Like you said at the beginning, oh, I saw you do this one day. I said I saw you doing it all the time. Like, yeah, it might have been annoying, but the thing is, like say what you want, but those videos were getting like millions of views every time I posted them. Like, why would I not? And that's the same thing for like anyone who's trying to be on social media. Like, if you do something and it blows up, make another one, like make 10 of them.
Yeah, no, I
They eat it up.
for me, watching those videos every day were like my the highlight of my day. I'm like,
Oh,
they
thank
were
you.
not annoying. I'm like, oh my god, like it's like first thing in the morning, she's just dancing in
Like,
her
gotta
bedroom.
keep
I'm like,
it together.
yeah.
I used to work at a smoothie shop, so sometimes I would film them at like 7:30 in the morning, like 7 o'clock before I go to work.
I love it. I love the
Like, okay,
dedication.
Olivia Rodrigo, let's go. Let's go.
No, I literally loved them. I'm like, they were not annoying. They were so fun. I was like, they were like a little like encouragement to like get moving in the morning.
Like
I was
it's like
like,
a pick me up.
literally. And so
Pick me up.
yeah, definitely do it as many times as you want if something blows up, or if even if you just like doing it, like post it. If you were to be following someone else, like, and or if you were to be following yourself like as someone else, like what content would you like to see, like that would you like to follow, and then like post that content, if that makes sense. Like I like to follow other people that like brighten my day, or post dancing, or post like
Yeah.
just like fun little, I don't know, like have colorful fashion, vintage fashion. And so that's what I also like
Be
to put out
genuine though. It has to be genuine.
there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You have to, I mean, I feel like people can tell when you're just like doing something to do something.
For the views. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of dancing, so I know, so social media, is that a full-time job for you now?
It is full time now. Yeah.
Okay. And so dancing, is that like another one of your passions? Is that something, I know that we talked about, that we have a mutual friend, my boss, hi Fanny, that because of dancing. Is that something, I don't know, maybe you're interested in doing in the future, or just like to keep it on TikTok, or what?
So funny enough, I feel like I don't talk about it because it kind of got burnt out. But you mentioned dancing. So I grew up dancing. Like
Mhm.
I danced for 15 years from the age of 3 to 18. Like that's how much I was doing it. I
Yeah.
remember at one point in high school, I was dancing like 40 hours a week on top of
Wow.
school, which is insane. And my last year of competition, I honestly was like really proud of where I got. I was going to like pretty big competitions and I was placing well and I was like so excited. And then COVID happened and I never got to finish the season. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just take a break. And I love dance, but I did not miss like the competitiveness of it. Um, Dance is definitely gonna be in my life because whether I like it or not, like I know that I'm like a trained dancer and that like I have dancing skills that not everyone does. Like it shows in my TikToks. Like, yeah, like
Mhm.
the way that I dance is very genuine, but a lot of it's because I was trained and I know how to like do stuff. I know how to hold
Mhm.
my body and like already just being like 4 months into social media full time, I've realized that whether I want to be a dancer or not, dancing opportunities will continue to find me because that's what I'm known for online.
Mhm.
I was also a dance teacher at one point as well, which is like crazy to think about. I've lived so many lives, but I was
Yeah.
secure. And then like same thing with COVID, like I taught less and I got surgeries. And so like I was always kind of
Mm.
hurting myself. So I don't really train in the dance studio anymore. Every once in a while I'll take a dance class. But I'm open to like dancing for fun. Like I can't help but like move. I feel like I'm very funky just like naturally. I just love like grooving around and stuff. But I can't see myself really being like a dance teacher or anything like that anymore, but I do think that dance will just find me for the rest of my life. Like I
Mhm.
said, I can't say what it is, but like I've been getting random opportunities for dancing, like, and I'm like, wow, I thought I was a fashion creator, but like this works too.
This is fine, but anything works. I like it. Yeah.
I just have to like I realized that part of me wanted to be a niche creator, but I think my niche is myself because
Mhm.
I it's like weird because I always wanted to be like a fashion creator or like a this creator, but like I just do so many different things that I think my niche at this point is my personality and like I am a jack of all trades. Like that's what you get when you follow me, you know?
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, just to touch on like one last thing before we wrap up, because I feel like it is a big part of like following you. So the whole, like kind of like 70s fashion, we mentioned that, you found like fell in love with like music and then it kind of like like attached yourself to it. So what about like the whole 70s era? Do you love just like the fashion, the home decor, all of that? Like how did you, other than maybe
Like
music,
why am I attracted to it? Like what even is it
I
for
mean,
me?
I get the attraction. I'm like, I like, oh God, I just like love looking back at like fashion from different decades. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, when you look at like, what was it, like 2010 fashion, I was like, that shit was so boring, not to be rude, but it was
I'm
just like,
cringing. Yeah.
yeah. So I'd like, so what, how did you kind of like just make this like a, I guess like personality trait? I don't know.
Literally, that's another thing. Like, I'm just like that 70s girl, apparently. Like I guess that's what I'm known for, which is so crazy to me. I don't understand it at all. Like, I guess that is my style, but I I don't even know. Like, I just love the fashion. You know, you see like old catalogs. I love the cuts. I don't know if this helps. I wouldn't consider it a reason, but it's definitely nice. Is that like the style of 70s and the framing of the clothes has always been very flattering to my body
Mhm.
type as well, which I love. Like I've always felt good in bell bottoms. Like
Mhm.
that style of pant just does me good. It does the booty
Mhm.
good. And on top of that, I really do just enjoy the music and there were movements of the 70s that I like aligned with, like peace, you know, like anti-war,
Mhm.
like that's not really something I'm really into. I have a peace
Mhm.
sign tattoo on my middle finger. A lot of that I
Yes.
know it's on my middle finger, which is funny because people always say I got it so I could like flip people off, but I got like a peace tattoo. I think that's just like the whole movement of peace and being calm and like addressing your problems peacefully is something that really meant a lot to me. And that did come with the 70s. But something that a lot of people assume about me is that because I like 70s fashion, I align with 70s politics. But like I'm all here for women's rights. And like that
Mhm.
wasn't really a thing in the 70s.
Mhm.
So I feel like I had to say that because I don't want people thinking that I'm like anti-women's rights.
Yeah, no,
You
definitely
know?
not in Women's History Month.
Oh no, literally not.
No, yes, very me too, girl. Obviously, I mean, like, women's
So
rights all
attractive.
around, feminists. But yeah, no, I love it. I do feel like it is maybe something that people probably associate with you, but I like just love it. Like, I just, oh God,
I don't mind
I
because it's like not super popular anymore.
no, I think it
70s is
really,
coming back though.
no, 100%, but I think it just really like sets you apart. And I don't know, like, I just like loved like your whole vibe, and even how like your room decor and stuff like just like reflects like your interests and stuff like that. So it's just so cool to like, I don't know, I love like looking at other people's like styles and seeing like
They're
how it
aesthetic.
describes them like as a person, you know.
I love
um
it. Thank you.
yeah, so you keep doing you, girl. You're amazing. I love your energy. I know I've said that like a billion times, but you do.
Know, like what's one more thing that I was thinking about? It's really funny to me that you say that you like enjoy that I'm a 70s like style person, because I view other people with their styles, some people are just like so 90s and they like rock it so well.
Mhm,
But this also goes back to like, I guess, advice that I would give to somebody that's trying to be a content creator. But like, I realized that I spent a lot of time trying to run away from my niches because I was like, people aren't going to find 70s interesting. People aren't going to find dancing interesting. But like, those are two things that really make me myself. And I found myself like running away from it because it got like, I felt like I was being overhyped for something that I didn't love, but I do love it. I was just not aligning with it because I was scared that people wouldn't love it forever. Like it would go out of style.
mhm.
But it's so crazy because like 70s is my style. Like that's really, I feel like I just exude 70s energy, like I've been told. And so I think a tip I would have for anyone trying to be a creator is just really like allowing yourself to feel comfortable in what your niche is.
Mhm.
Because like the right people will find it.
Yeah, I don't think that, like, don't do something kind of like what we were saying earlier, but like don't do something for other people, because then it's obvious that like that's not necessarily like something that you like resonate with, or something that like sets you apart, or something you even care about in general. Like, don't just do it because like your followers, or because other people are doing it. Don't do it because it's a trend. Just like do what you love, and then other like you'll find your people, I feel like.
Totally. Yeah, literally exactly. They'll find you. Literally exactly. What the hell? What did I just say? Oh, I can't believe I said that. Oh my God. I've been talking for too long. I'm
I
like such a valley girl sometimes. I can't
oh
help
my
it.
god. No, me
I have
too.
a valley girl accent. My dad
My
makes fun of me for it all the time.
yeah, my dad, every time I say literally, he's like, I
Literally.
remember literally, I remember for like, I was with him for like New Year's Eve or whatever. And he said that my New Year's resolution was to stop saying like and literally. And I was like, that's literally like not gonna happen.
I'm a
Sorry.
valley girl at heart. Like it's the way I was raised. I'm from, I don't know. People tell me I have an accent. I don't know what kind of accent they hear. I think it's like a Southern California valley girl.
Mhm.
Maybe I have like a little bit of a speech impediment. Sometimes I think I might. Like I'm not even joking.
I
I
haven't noticed anything,
I
but
think it's kind of like created in my own accent because I get that all the time. Like, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, California.
oh my god. No, I haven't noticed it, but I mean, I live currently in California, so maybe I'm just like,
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Washington, D.C., so like East
Oh,
Coast
cool, cool.
area. I moved fully across the country, but all my friends here from like Orange County, or I have one friend that like has family in SLO and stuff like that. So
Cool.
maybe I'm just like used to the whole like Southern California
You're
kind
Southern
of,
California girl at heart.
yeah, there we go. That's what it is. Well, thank you so much for coming on with us today. Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at morgan.ag. And if you're interested, I do have a podcast and a YouTube that I try to post on like 2 to 3 times a month. And you can find those in the links to my Instagram and TikTok because I don't even feel like trying to give you the name. I can't come up with it off the top of my head. But yeah, just go to like morgan.ag on TikTok or Instagram. And the link in my bio has everything you could need.
Perfect. Well, everyone, make sure you go follow Morgan on all of her socials. And while you're at it, you can follow me. My
That's
Instagram,
right.
TikTok, yes, my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are all at Lexy Silverstein. That's Lexy, silver like the color, Stein. And remember to make the ordinary extraordinary.